admit I would have liked to have been there. I'm quite partial to a bit of snow. Tonight we enjoyed the talk by Neil, so thank you, Neil. That was really quite interesting to listen and actually sit down and think about how we name our images, and definitely not to get too tangled up in long sentences, I think is the key to naming an image well. Quick reminder tonight that the Open Projected 6 closes midnight on the 22nd of June, which is next week, and the 6th of July is the closing date for the natural history prints, and I think we're allowed to enter 3 if I'm correct. So just keep that going in the back of your minds. It takes a bit of time to print and mount. I'd also like to congratulate the members who've received awards in the Laurie Thomas competition, so it's all a bit secret, but you know who you are. So it'll all be revealed when we have our awards night and see the amazing images that were finally selected. Another good year by all accounts. You also will have received the latest email from Heidi in regard to the Laurie Thomas Winter School, which is, 6 weeks, 5-6 weeks away now? Yeah, not long. It's coming around quickly. I've not been before myself, so I'm pretty excited to go. It looks really excellent, and thanks, Heidi, for all the hard work you've done pulling that together for us all. I'd like to ask Alistair, he's disappeared, there he is, to pop up and just introduce the John Thornton's regarding his images that prints that are on display tonight.
Thank you. Can we have lights on the prints, please, Andrew? Yeah, excellent. Tonight we've got John Thornton, long-standing member of the club, and you probably know John from he's usually a projected image and a AV specialist, but in his heyday he did prints. Yeah, so we've got a selection of his work, so enjoy. Over to you, John.
I managed to dig these out of the wardrobe today, most of them. There's just a couple I'll talk about. This one here is the only image that's won me an annual award at CPS. The trophy was so bad that I just pinched the plaque off the old trophy and donated the club a new trophy. So that was actually taken the night the CBD in Christchurch reopened after the earthquake. So I thought it was kind of appropriate, sort of like the city sucking into a black hole. Anyway, I don't know if the judge saw it like that, but I did. The other one is this one here. The first camera I ever had was a Woolworths plastic thing that let light in. And there was only 2 photos that actually came out. And this is the first one, and that's my mother in the backyard. I'm sure she wished it was one of the photos that didn't work out. But anyway, I'm really pleased to have that. This is Jade Stadium just as it was on its last legs. And this one here, actually, the digital version won me a silver medal at the Laurie Thomas a few years ago. Surprise, surprise. The rest of them are just... Oh, this one here is the first acceptance I ever got at CPS, but the version I had that got an acceptance at CPS actually had Diana Andrews with an umbrella in the corner, which I'd taken on a field trip down in South Canterbury, so I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, these are just American ones I took in America and a few natural history ones. Oh, and this is taken up. This is about as remote as I've ever been, because I kind of like doing a bit of tramping by myself. And this is between Lake Constance and Blue Lake up in Nelson Lakes. And if you carry on down there, you'll end up at the Boyle River, River Outdoor Centre. But you'll probably have to walk for another 50 k's to get there. Anyway, thanks very much. Hope you enjoy them.
Killed it, John. Oh no, it's back on. That's all right. Thank you, John. I have to have a look at them after we've finished tonight, because I didn't get a chance before. They look great. So now I will hand you over to Jane for our judge tonight. Where is he? Is it gone? Oh, there he is. Sorry. I can see that. I beg your pardon. I'll introduce our judge, John Cosgrove, tonight, who, while we look at the images and the critique of the projected image 5, which had a theme of photojournalism. Thanks, Jane.
Pulling the background out, zooming in tight on the hair in the background and just making one person the subject would have been a better shot. Sorry. Before the fall. This one queried me a wee bit because there's 2 stories there. And what ruins the 2 stories? Did they jump, or are they looking for somebody? Or are they expecting to go in? There's always a question on people's body languages about what they're going to do next. But the sad thing was, they're in the shadow, and you've got this massive, great, looks like Hooker Falls there in front of them. And your eye goes straight to the water, straight down here to the right-hand side, and bye-bye to any subject in there. So always look out for your colour escape routes. Ruapuna Track Day. I'm sorry, this one misses out because where are we? I have to read the caption to say it's at Ruapuna. So what is the car? Where is the car? What are they doing? If the person you're showing the photo to has to ask those questions and you don't answer it, they've already turned the page and moved on to another picture. So please, when you want to show some interaction between people, put them in the place that they are. I just like the actual, the only thing I liked about the picture was the fact the reflections are really nice. Could have been more done there. A step to your left, crouch down, which is hard for someone with my knees, but it would have made a different viewing angle and we would have seen the rear tyre of the car and given us some context. Sorry. Shinto wedding organised in processions. Now, I don't do this often, but I've got to say, been there, done that. In Japan, you'll see that every Sunday and Saturday in the temples. And the parents, which is the father of both the bride and the groom, which are the 2 gentlemen on the right, looking backwards and looking at each other, they will shell out $50,000, $60,000 to be able to walk through that temple. And all the bride and groom in the front here, all they do is they walk through, and that's it. That's the end of their procession they've done. They've already done all the other stuff. But there are so many more photos there that you could have done. Don't be afraid of getting in closer, because the reason they're doing it is to show off to you their union. And the family are doing it to show off their wealth. A wedding in Japan can cost upwards of $150,000. And I know because a former colleague of mine went across to a wedding in Japan in Tokyo one day and is expected to pay $25,000 for each person that was coming with him, so he only went himself. But we were in Japan a couple of years ago, just prior to COVID, and straight away at the Meiji Shrine they were just lined up. One wedding would come through, the next wedding was right behind it. They do it to show off their union and to show off who they are as a family. But if you look within that, there is actually some quite interesting little subject pictures. What is grandma doing with the 2 sisters? What are the 2 father-in-laws doing? How's the bridegroom and that doing? What are they doing? Look at the people that you are photographing and say to them, what is it interesting about this photo? What can I show my viewers that's different from something they can see every day? And that's your goal as a photojournalist, is to show your viewer something they've seen every day, but in a different light. Thank you. Sami woman at a market, Finland, somewhere up around Finland. Photographer's not here. Nice shot. What do you see? If you're like me, you'll see an extremely messy backdrop that drags your eye away. Okay, she's a beautiful lady, she's got some brightly coloured on, but what are the guys picking his nose in the background doing? See what I mean? You've immediately asked your viewer to go somewhere else. Keep them in the frame. Sorry. Next one. Digging the drain. I had an argument with somebody in the Southland Photographic Society recently about their picture of somebody digging in a drain. To them, that photo meant something. To the people looking at it, it was turn the page. Because it just says somebody was in a digger. What was wrong with getting down low or actually concentrating on him? What was his expression on his face? You've all been to A&P shows. We go there with our cameras all the time. And you see the kids out there on those diggers, those toy diggers, where they're raking up that pile of sand, they get charged $10, it raises money. But you watch the faces of them, the joy, the concentration. That is the photograph. That simply says, yes, I was digging a hole. Sorry. The same with this one. Initially, your eye goes straight to the white patches. Then you start following those lines, and eventually you come across a guy doing something in a tree that's hung onto some other trees by a pulley. And you start asking the question, why did the photographer even take this photograph? It doesn't show me anything different. It records the fact that they stood there and somebody did something with a tree. Now, it might sound harsh, but really your job as a photographer is what I said before, to show me a different viewpoint of something I can see every day. People drive past, you drive past things every day. Tomorrow when you go to work, look out your window from the left side and just see what do you see as you're sitting there in the traffic. Look for something different. Sorry. Cambodian cycling. Is the photographer here? You don't have to answer, but if you're a male, did you have problems taking pictures of kids in Cambodia? Because I do. Thanks courtesy to German pedophiles like Gary Glitter and others. My wife could pick up a camera and point it at Cambodia and no problem, they'd pose for her. The moment I picked up mine, evil man, dirty man. It's really bizarre over there. But the photographer saw a cyclist coming towards them and thought, great, I've got a great photo. And they took the picture. What they forgot to do was to think about the picture. If they had crouched down a fraction lower, just a bend of the knees, that's all it takes, they would have got a much better picture because they would have made the cyclist stand up. At the moment, because it's at the same eye height as them, all you see is what they saw, which was a cyclist going past. I'm sorry. Same with this one. Aussie ash melts New Zealand glaciers. When you have to read the caption to even start to think about, to create a narrative, to create a story in your mind about what you're looking at, something's wrong, isn't it? What do you think, guys? After Newell's good lesson today? If you've got to read the caption and go, really, what were they talking about? It's a guy with something in an ice paddy. There's no volcanoes, and while it's properly exposed and it looks cold, you've got to ask the question, what else happened? Where's the shot showing them? If the photographer had taken a step round and shot back at the mountains behind, instead of just this little ridge they're on, would have been a better photograph? If we had shown them looking at the sample with the ash in it. Because we all know what the Aussie fires did. They gave us the most beautiful sunsets we've had in a hell of a long time, didn't they? Everybody was out there. I remember photographing a parade, a military parade, when the sun was trying to feed through those Aussie fires, and it made everything go red, so I had green and red photos. But, please, why was he there? Sorry. Deer culling in Central Otago. It's got it all, hasn't it? It's clean, sharp, tells you exactly what's going on. Fast enough shutter speed so that things are moderately sharp. The reaction I heard from down the front here was, ugh. So you've got to remember, as a photographer, your goal in life is to get somebody to stop and look at your picture. Forget it whether they like it or not. That's irrelevant. The most important thing is they stopped and they started thinking about your picture. That's why when you turn the pages of the Star or the Press, and you turn the page, oh, hello, here's a nice photo. You're not reading stories, you're reading photos. Same reason. What made that photo stop? You stop and look at that photo, and the discourse that you created with the photographer is what you... So we got a reaction from this one. Well done. Reunion. What do you see? Straight away, somebody's having a cuddle. if they were like me yesterday when I needed a cuddle, because my car got broken into and my life got stolen. I now don't have any cards to anything that says who I am, courtesy of some nefarious person. They took my bag, but they didn't touch my camera gear. That's good because it was with me. But what you see is a couple of people cuddled up. What I don't see is where and why. Why are they doing that? If the photographer had taken half a step backwards and just put a wee bit of the context in, we would have had a much stronger photograph. This hand in the bottom corner here wouldn't have let us out of the picture. See how it's dragging you down? You start at the two eyebrows, you come down to the next layer, you go to the hand, and boom, we're off into another world. So think about how you look at a picture and how you move your eyes around and what messages you get here. If the next frame, when they had, you know how people embrace tightly and then they step back silently, or the moment they go into the huddle, that's your photograph. Next one. I remember Newell and the team at CPS downgrading me one day for a photo because I cut a guy in half. Can we see the guy in half? Never ever cut a body in half when you need him in the photo. There are 5 people in there, which is a good odd number. We know it's a grandstand of sort. Where's the photo?